Hello, welcome to Genesis chapter 26. We are going to continue with the story of Isaac and Rebekah. Now, chapter 26 starts off with explaining that there was a famine in the land, a huge famine, and Isaac went to Gerar to Abimelech, the king of the Philistines. Now, the Lord told him not to get down to Egypt, which one can only assume was the original plan, but to go to this land and he says that I will multiply your the Lord told him that I will multiply your offspring there in these lands. So Isaac settled down in Gerar, but when the man asked about Rebekah, he was like Abraham in that he didn't admit that Rebekah was the wife. But Isaac said that she was his sister. But the king of the Philistines, he found out what happened because he saw how they were laughing together. So Abimelech called Isaac and asked him, why did you say that she was not your wife? Why did you say that she was your sister? Why didn't you admit the truth? And like his father Isaac said, because I thought that you were going to kill me because of how beautiful she was. And in verse 6 said, what is it you have done to us? Abimelech said this. One of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us. So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. So later on, Isaac, that story continues with Isaac sowing and reaping in the land, and the Lord multiplied it by 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him, and he became rich, and he had animals and servants, and the Philistines envied him. So the Philistines were filling up the well that his father had dug. They filled them up with earth. Now it shows that he wasn't welcome there, especially if you read verse 26. Abimelech said to Isaac, go away from us, for you are much mightier than we. And I think he was probably a bit anxious that Isaac became so powerful, so rich, and had so many people in his households that he would easily be able to take up arms and attack them. So Isaac left. He went to the valley of Gerar and he settled there. Now later we learned that Abimelech returned or went to Isaac and made a covenant with him. But of course Isaac was surprised and asked him, why you sent me away? Why would you want a covenant with me? Why would you want peace? And Abimelech said, look, we know that you're powerful, but we also know that the Lord is with you. And I think it makes sense from Abimelech's perspective to say that, look, we know you're very powerful, but we also see the Lord is with you. So it's better to make a covenant with you and you wouldn't hurt us, especially that the Lord is on your side, than us being against you and then chance that you might attack us. Now, verse 34 and 35 actually sets the scene for the next chapter, where we know Isaac is going to trick by Jacob and Rebekah. Anyway, verse 34 says, when Esau was 40 years old, he took Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, to be his wife, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and they made bitter life for Isaac and Rebekah. Now, I've read that there's a reason why Rebekah thought that Esau wasn't worthy to be the leader of the clan, to receive the blessing, because he had sold the right of the firstborn right. He also, what he did was, he married these two women, and what they caused a lot of grief for Isaac and Rebekah. So selling your birthright, I think that was in itself a horrible thing. And I thought about this. If it was a depiction of how the Jews behaved. Imagine that selling your birthright, which was the Jews first, giving up what God had promised you, unbelievable riches for the sake of temporary fulfillment, because that's what happened. Was they thought that they didn't want Jesus at all. They just wanted those temporary pleasures, the temporary riches, the temporary status they had. They didn't want Jesus. They didn't want what God had to offer. They didn't want to rely on him of faith. They wanted to rely on their own strength and own understanding. And this was the same for Esau. And you could see that Rebekah saw that they weren't worthy, or Esau wasn't worthy to receive the inheritance. And in a sense, I can see why God thought that Jews, not as a whole, but those individuals, and because it looks like the Jews are still going to be saved according to Romans 9:11. I mentioned this already, but at the same time, you could see how they squandered the inheritance, and I can see why Rebekah thought that Esau was not worthy to receive the birthright. Amen.